First, let me thank all of you for the great work that you continue to do. Thank you for taking your time to devote to this very, very worthy cause and very, very important work. I want to take the opportunity today to update you on some of the new efforts that we're undertaking in the Ohio Attorney General's Office to help trafficking victims and to prevent victimization. One way that we can help is through victim of crime acts that are administered through my office's Crime Victim Services section. We're given funds, we've given in the past funds to a number of programs, and today I'm happy to announce that my office is now awarding Amethyst, Inc., which is based here in Columbus, more than $128,000 to provide housing for human trafficking victims. We're going through Franklin County Municipal Court Judge Herbert's Catch Court program. You want to start over? The executive, interim executive director is here. Lois, stand up. You want to stand up? Let me see you. Thank you very much. Judge Herbert could not be here, but his director of special dockets, Paige Allen, is here on his behalf. Paige, stand up. You all are doing great work. Thank you. Thank you for the great work that you do. Catch Court, of course, is Judge Herbert's specialty docket that helps women who have been charged with things such as prostitution and solicitation if the defendant is a human trafficking victim. These women go through a 2-year program to help them reclaim their lives. When my office met with Judge Herbert recently to see if there was anything that we could do to help with the program, he told us that Columbus was in dire need of stable housing for victims. Safe housing is critically important for these victims because without it, they may feel like they have no other options but to go back to their traffickers. We want to stop that cycle. We contacted Amethyst to see if they'd be able to provide housing if we provided the funds. And thanks to this grant, there are now 12 apartments that will be specifically dedicated to housing human trafficking victims that are going through the Catch program. The grant will primarily be used to cover rent, utilities, so that women will not have to worry about housing costs while they're in the program. We're very excited about this. I'm confident that this safe, stable housing will help victims improve their lives. We talk about another new effort that I'm excited to tell you about that involves our Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Traffickers often look for a very specific type of person to take advantage of. Someone who is young, someone who's already been exposed to drugs, or someone who is in foster care, moving from home to home. We know from past experience that these are indicators of someone who might be trafficked. Oftentimes, these human traffickers also look for kids who have a history of running away. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1 in 6 of the runaways reported to them in 2016 were likely sex trafficking victims. Of those likely victims, 86% were in the care of social services or foster care when they went missing. When these kids are out on their own, they of course need shelter, they need food, and they need companionship. And that's something traffickers offer, but of course at a very, very tragic cost. We want to get to these kids before the traffickers do. In an effort to accomplish this, I've asked our BCI Missing Persons Unit to begin regularly analyzing records that are part of the Ohio Missing Children Clearinghouse. I asked them to do this in order to proactively identify children who may be vulnerable to human traffickers. What will they be looking for? Well, they'll be looking for kids who have run away multiple times in a short period of time, and kids who have been reported missing from a number of different communities, which may indicate that they are involved with social services or in foster care. BCI will also search other law enforcement databases and public sources such as social media to find out if there are any other indicators to show that these kids could be vulnerable to traffickers. Once this intelligence is gathered, our analysts will contact local law enforcement in the communities where these kids live and give them the information. And when appropriate, certainly the local children's services will also be contacted. It is my hope that local law enforcement will then reach out to these children and intervene in their lives before a trafficker can. Sometimes that's all these kids really need, someone to take the time to listen and to care and to protect them. Once law enforcement finds out why the child keeps running away, they then can develop a plan to help in collaboration with local coalitions and social service agencies, and hopefully stop that child from running away again. Through this process, we hope to significantly reduce the chance that these children will be targeted by a trafficker. I know that intervening in a child's life this way takes time. So I'm also making special agents with BCI's Crime Against Children Unit available to assist in this process. I might note that similar efforts have been successful in other places across our country. For example, in Dallas is one example, and we're hoping to get good results here in Ohio as well. Upon request by law enforcement, BCI's Missing Person Unit can also conduct a complete analysis of all missing kids in a specific community to give authorities a localized report of who may be at risk. Through these efforts, we do anticipate that we will identify some children who have already been trafficked. If that is the case, BCI agents can, if needed, assist in the criminal investigation as well. I'll be sending now a letter today to law enforcement agencies across the state. As you know, we have 88 county sheriffs. We have over 900 other law enforcement agencies. In this letter, we will outline basically what we just talked about. In addition, BCI is also working right now to develop a series of free regional courses to train law enforcement on this entire process. We will train officers on how to analyze missing children clearinghouse reports on their own and how to positively and proactively intervene in at-risk child's life. Strategies to investigate and prosecute common types of human trafficking cases will also be discussed in these courses. And we'll be announcing those training dates and those locations in the very near future. In conclusion, what we're really doing with this new initiative is to try to empower local law enforcement agencies, to give them the data, the resources, and the training so that they can more proactively go out into the community and protect these children. Many times law enforcement is not aware these children are there. We're trying to take the data that is already available and turn it into something that can be utilized by local law enforcement. So ultimately, local law enforcement will be the ones who are doing this, but we are saying we're going to give them the information, we're going to give them the assistance, and whatever assistance, frankly, that they need, up to and including being part of the investigation. This is a priority with our office. We think that with the data that is already available, we can really make a big difference in these children's lives, working with our partners in law enforcement throughout the state of Ohio.